Well, hello. Today I'd like to give you my first impressions of a Merkurit 172 fountain pen. What? You haven't heard of Merkurit? Well, neither have I, till now. So let's take a look at the pen. Alright, so this is my Merkurit 172. Nice black, I'm guessing ebonite, maybe a little bit faded in part of the ebonite. Or it could be resin, because the finials feel different than the body of the pen. In any case, it's a black pen. And the only branding I see on the main part of the body is a very faintly engraved Merkurit 172. Nothing on this finial. And kind of a cool, I don't know, I like that better than almost bird splat. I think that's kind of different. Unscrew it. Reveals that it is indeed a piston filler. I'm not putting my hand under there because I want you to see that kind of fun ink window. It's wet because I cleaned it recently, like this morning. And then the nib has Merkurit and that same trademark. And I believe it's a steel nib. Now I'm a little nervous because it doesn't look super aligned. But it feels smooth. So I am curious to see how this thing ends up writing. And of course, if I want to straighten the nib, it's a matter of putting some pressure on it. You know, you can push up this tine, which is I think what I would do. With your fingernail, don't force it and stuff. Just for giggles and snorts, before I actually do that, let me just see how it feels across the paper. Now, my first principle of vintage pen repair is first, do no harm. So that's why I'm not straightening it now. I'm going to wait and see how it writes, because it may be like that for a reason. Okay, yeah, that's scratchy. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration here, and then I'll do most of it off screen. So I'm going to start by just pushing up on this tine a little with my fingernail, let go. And of course I can push down on this tine with my fingernail and let go. And you keep repeating that process till eventually it's aligned. Now, your pen may require further nib smoothing, but this is so extreme that, yeah. Okay, so I've done about, 2 or 3 minutes of work. I think it's about as aligned as it's going to get. Maybe a professional could do better. But yeah, definitely feels better going across the page. So now before I ink it up, I just want to show you something kind of fun. So piston, let me put this down here, is out, or up. So let's, there, I need this so you can see it. There's the piston down. But what I'm trying to show you, look at this. Like the piston turning knob hardly comes out at all. And once I start turning it back, it's not even visibly out. So I'd kind of like to look at the mechanism of it. But again, first do no harm, so I'm not going to take it apart if I don't have to. Alright, how about a nice drink of Parker Quink washable blue, because I'm that inventive and creative in these videos. Plus, this way nobody yells at me for my ink choice. You can't put that in that there pen. That's an Italian pen. They only drink Italian inks. That pen's American. Give it a good American ink. This one's German, so I guess I'd have, if I was following that, I'd have to give it a drink of Rohren Klingner, Lamy, Pelikan, Mont Blanc. Oh, I was about to make the point that there aren't really that many German ink makers, and then I realized that, oh yeah, there are! So I'm glad I didn't make that point. And I could edit out this whole bit, and you'll never know that I said it. Okay, I have been excited about this pen since I got it, but I've been making myself wait, because I do, until I had time to film a writing sample. Because this is supposed to be a first impression. It's not a first impression if I'm not writing. So one of the things that's jumping out at me is how wet it is. Another one that's jumping out at me is what incredible line variation there is. And yeah, this is I think it's a steel nib. I mean, usually they label the gold ones. But dang. A little stubbish, and it's flexible. See? Oops, I got a dot on my finger. Were you killing Smurfs? Alright, so this is Parker Quink. Because what else would it be in this channel? Washable blue. I think the nib could use a little tuning yet because it's trying to sing. So it's not as smooth as it could be. There, that's better. Parker Quink washable blue. Flex. Yeah, baby. This is a flex monster. I'm flexing on ya. And it doesn't take much pressure to flex either. Very impressive. Wetness and flow, I think you can tell. It's a wet one. Smear test. Whoop! That's wet. And reverse writing, which sometimes is a surprise when the pen is flexy. Sometimes it's not very good. Reverse. You know, I think it's actually better than writing with it the correct way. And finally, the world famous Peer Gustafson test. Woo! So what happened there is, I don't know if a corner of the nib caught or something. Oh, okay. Sort of seeing it. It looks almost like the nib may be slightly oblique, but I think this slightly sticky outy end of the nib caught on the paper there. Something did. So yeah, I think this pen's happier written with as an oblique. So, interesting. Anyway, other than the weird snag, it seemed to do well with the Peer Gustafson test, so I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm looking forward to playing with it some more. That's one of the joys you get when you buy the kind of pens I do, because you find these surprises you've never heard of, and you're like, whoa! So I originally showed this pen on the channel when I did my little walk around a small town video. This pen was what I picked up in the mail, and yeah, 1930s pen. I haven't learned much more about the company, but I will say I'm very pleased with the pen. It needed some nib straightening on air, so just as a quick reference, these are tines on your nib. My tines were like that. So what you have to do is kind of do a little adjusting. You push it a little beyond its comfort zone and boink, boink, boink. Oh, that was almost a rude gesture. Boink. And eventually it ends up lined up. And it's one of those things you kind of get by feel. And this one was kind of like these tines because it turned out to be slightly oblique. And it took me a while to realize that. But yeah, it was misaligned also. So that was kind of fun. Edited that part out of the video for the most part. But it's proven to be a pretty nice writing experience. You know, a little feedback. I feel like maybe I could align it a little bit better. But a perfectly pleasant and nice looking writing experience, as you saw there. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this pen. So how does it do with the pocket test? The bird just flew by out there like really close to the window. Just fine. Fits right And he just flew back the other way, really close to the window. If you hear a thud, well, actually he'll get the screen first, and I'll have a big hole in the screen. But anyway, so the pen fits very well in my pocket, and I've been enjoying writing with it. And one of the thoughts that's been crossing my mind, since I have plenty of this, is I want to try some other inks in it now. So you may be seeing this Merkurit once it gets emptied out more than you should, just because I want to try it with all those different inks. So I want to thank you for watching. And yeah, let me know down in the comments what exotic or unknown brands have you discovered. So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.